What's going on, workforce? Brian here, and today we have to talk about Project Octopath Traveler. I can't believe I said it right. That was like 3 takes.
Sorry I'm late, lad. Got held up along the way.
Hi, look. It's the mighty...
So to catch you up, if you don't know, Project Octopath Traveler is the working title for a new Square Enix RPG coming to the Nintendo Switch. This was announced right when they were showing off and revealing the Switch. It was just kind of one of the third-party highlights, but this past week they talked about it some more, and then there's also a playable demo out on the Switch right now. So if you have a Switch and you like RPGs, go download this demo, and I hope you like it as much as I have. For me personally, it makes me think Final Fantasy VI, but if it was set in a really beautiful, like updated, high definition world. I know that they redid Final Fantasy VI for the iPad, and everybody was like, oh, it just visually it doesn't have the same aesthetic. If they did something like this to Final Fantasy VI, wow. So the battle system is really kind of feels like an evolution to Bravery Default. As you attack, as like your turns happen, you build up these like extra power points in which that you could spend to make your attacks more potent or actually happen more often. And so enemies have these like little shields, and if you attack them with what they're weak against, that number will go down, and when it hits 0, it breaks and they're stun locked. So they miss out on their turn. So there's a little bit of strategic placement in your attacks as well. You can easily switch back and forth between like your equipped weapons. So if someone's weak to spears and not swords, and as I'm assuming as we would acquire more weapons later in the game, you can kind of play around with where people are weak, and so that you can kind of focus in on that. Stun locking is important because again, like it says, it makes the enemy lose their turn, and again, you're also building up those points, so you can expend all of those points to stun lock somebody, which I could see there being some really important situations where that would be a must. Or if they are stun locked, they're also a little bit weak anyway, and you can expend those points to magnify a single powerful attack as well. And so there's a lot of power in this. I'm really excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see, I haven't played around it. I'm not seeing any magic yet in the game, but there's items. And the thing, I guess, at the end of the day, the question falls, is this game worthy of a Final Fantasy style branding? Because again, Octopath Traveler is just a working title, and if you look at Bravery Default, it really was a Final Fantasy game, and they gave it its own branded name, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that's actually, I think, a good thing for that series to help kind of mentally separate it. But at the end of the day, like, we're using healing grapes in Octopath, and I'm like, well, wouldn't it be, I would personally like to see more of that kind of influence from Final Fantasy, even if it was subtle. But that's just like my only, I guess, note about the subject itself. The game is interestingly voice acted, so it's got some, voice acted cutscenes, and so far I'm not finding any voices that particularly annoy me. Sometimes in some of these older Japanese games, they had these characters that were just like, oh, please don't voice them. But in this case, I find it interesting. I find it heartwarming. And then even in the scenes that aren't fully voice acted, the characters usually have a voice reaction that kind of kicks off, the feeling of what they're about to say, whether it's shock or surprise. This went a long way to add into my enjoyment of it from an audio standpoint. The music in this game is incredible, and I'm really impressed by just the visuals and how it feels both classic but yet modern at the same time. I'm really enjoying kind of like, even as you go further into like the background, the foreground will be kind of blurred out in a very subtle but interesting way that kind of gives it this 3D-esque feel. And they were calling it like 2D HD. And you know what? That's cool too. But I'm really impressed. I'm hoping that we might be able to see more games done in this style. And that's why I have to say that you should absolutely have Project Octopath Traveler on your radar. I have not finished the demo yet. There are 2 playable characters. You have Primrose, who's a dancer, and you have Ulbrich, who is a warrior, and I've been playing on Ulbrich right now. So I'm really excited to go check out Primrose and get a feeling for how that plays for her as well. But guys, this game is awesome. This demo is awesome. And I'm really excited that Nintendo did this. I'm really surprised. They just had their big event. They literally just went and just told us about a ton of games, a ton of third party that is coming to the Switch. And I am so excited for this. This feels different than any Nintendo system and platform has in a long time. And so with that, I think things are changing. Now, maybe slowly at first, but I'm really excited to see this unique game from Square Enix. I cannot wait to see where they go with this. And, I'm wondering what the official title of this game is going to be. Personally, I think it should carry the weight of the Final Fantasy name, but that's just me. And I'd love to know your thoughts. Sound off in the comments below and let's have that conversation. If you've played this game yet, if it's on your radar, if you have questions about the game, let me know. And if I don't know the answers, we can go find out together. And so with that, I'm going to go and just wrap this up and say, guys, this is something that we need to keep our eyes on. This is something we need to keep on our radar. I hope that they can kind of deliver something that, fans, especially of the classic 16-bit RPG era, have been clamoring for. And I think this is going to be something special. But that's just my, initial reaction to having played this game for a little bit. And I just want to share that with you. So anyway, for Work to Game, my name's Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video. We hope to see you on our next. But until then, we hope you have a fantastic week. Take care.
Whoa! Thank you so much for watching! There should be another video like over here! Or there! Or a vlog somewhere around here! And the subscribe button is below with the contact info! Here we go!